motion approved.
You guys need to tell me which one we're using.
Middle one.
Middle one?
Yeah. Are you ready, Dave?
29.
Can anybody else, can you tell what people's on it?
Are you guys ready?
Sure.
Call this meeting of Sugar Valley Lake Homes Association to order. Our first order will be pledge of allegiance. Everyone will stand, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Lauren, if you get the invitation, please.
Bow our heads, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the life you've given us here on earth. We thank you for our two lakes associations and the fun times that we have here. And we pray that you give us total guidance and on our decisions that we make for this association and the board. These things we pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
First order of business will be the minutes from the previous meeting to approve those. And I would like to make a comment if I could. I've been taking the minutes for this, and I'm not gonna be here very much longer, so y'all gonna have to decide what you're gonna do. My suggestion would be possibly is to have office member actually get paid to come and take minutes. That way, you know, the minutes are done correctly every time, and there's not a discrepancy among board members as to what was done. But that's something that I believe needs to be taken into account. File.
I think it's a good idea. Steve, have you talked to any of them? I know there was some talk in my office. Have you talked to anybody about, would they be willing?
Karen does not for sure want to because of conflict of interest with Mike. I haven't said anything to Trish. We have talked about Kim Cunningham. She's done a lot of work for us. If you guys want me to, I mean, we can find someone that will take the minutes, because really Janet's been taking the minutes and running the board meetings. And when you're taking minutes, you can't hear everything that's going on. And sometimes that person really needs to say, slow down, hold on a minute, let me catch up. I mean, when you're talking a lot, you can't do it that way. So I do recommend to the board that we get someone either from our office, or I can find someone that will take minutes, whether it's a different person over here and a different one over there. Someone that will take good minutes and keep us up current on what we're doing. Because I do think that's very important. Things get broke down wrong, it's a bad thing.
Yeah, and I think they should be compensated for doing that.
Definitely.
Just, my 2 cents worth.
Yes.
Okay, so I would entertain a motion.
I make a motion that we have somebody do the minutes at either location, doesn't matter. That's up to Steve's discretion.
Okay.
Second?
Okay, I got a motion and a second on the floor to approve for someone else to come in and do the minutes. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Now I'd entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Okay, I've got a
I got a motion to approve previous meeting minutes.
motion to approve
previous meeting minutes.
Dave did.
Second.
Okay, thank you, Corey. Any further discussion? With none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next item of business is the financial report. Just a couple things that I'll bring out, on this, meeting. Our, snack bar income feeding this year is up 54,332 gross over what it was last year. The majority, well, all of that plus a little bit was from Sugar Valley Snack Bar, with the advertisement and all that stuff that happened last year. It's really increased the sales over there. Our tank pumping income's up about 16,000 from last. Golf course gross income's up about 65. Our dues were the other thing that's up. It's almost $44,000 over last year's dues. Right now, it looks like dues that are behind. I kind of got a feel for that from the office the other day, and it's between 20 and 22% of the dues for 2020 are past due.
20%, you said?
That, yeah, it's right between 20 and 22%. I didn't get real specific as to the amount.
How does that compare to the past?
I think it's quite a bit better than it was in the past.
I think we're low
Actually.
70s, so I mean,
Yeah.
that
We're around 30. That's right.
and are those people just pretty much telling us go play kite or what?
I think most of them, don't they, Steve, the majority, we're not going to get.
There's an awful lot of them that we're not gonna get back. Those people, a lot of them, I have been just making sure they pay for the filing fees and everything and transferring the deed back if we can get a clear deed, so we can start fresh and get someone else paying.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, you can't get blood out of a turnip.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we'll never have 100%.
No.
There's just no way.
No, and we have gotten a lot of them to pay.
Yeah.
It was kind of unreal, but, we're working on both ways.
Well, you figure we've had to have some pay, if we're up $44,000 over last year at this time, so I think that's a good deal. Under administrative, I noticed that the dues and subscriptions were up about $1,500, checking on that. And the majority of that is going to be the online QuickBooks fees. They went up astronomically this year, but they're still less than what it would be as if we got another software company that did pretty much the same thing that we do with them. Under, I think everything else there looks pretty good. Security, I know there was a point that somebody asked me about the security utilities. When I checked on that, that also includes the security cameras, the security lights, the security phones for the security people. So that's what's all in there. This year, our net profit for the whole association is right at the end of November was about $163,739. That's up $153,187 from last year.
That's insane.
It really is, that you look, 57,000 of that is for lot sales.
No, I think so.
44,000 is for dues. So there's 100,000 right there, so.
And is that PPE
It's
or
not in there.
it's not collected?
No,
Really?
you don't have to show it on your balance
That's not in there.
Cool.
Taxable, not income.
So, actually, yeah, I hate to say it, but COVID has been good to the association. Any questions on the financial report? Okay. We shall move on manager's report.
Well, while we were talking about that, with lots and all that stuff, I'll go first with, next month, you'll also see I've sold another right at $11,000 this month. We have shut down the clubhouses because of COVID to just walk-ins only. I totally see them being probably shut down to walk-in only till at least after New Year's. We're just gonna kind of go day by day and see what's happening with the COVID before we open them back up. I totally hope they're back up by springtime and we can get back in the swing of things, because things have been dead, especially with being shut down like we are. They're already slow in the wintertime, but they're really dead right now in the clubhouses.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
Have we thought about putting up plexiglass, like by the, well, where they cook and maybe where they check people out, or the cash register or something? Would that be something that would be beneficial, that we could maybe get some more traffic in? Just a thought.
Well, I thought the deal was last month, Burton was worried about too many people being in the clubhouse
Yeah.
at one time or something.
We could.
Well,
See, Sugar Valley, nothing against you coffee drinkers, but at Sugar Valley of a morning, we'll have 10 to 15 coffee drinkers that come in. It's not even golf season now. All they do is drink coffee, they'll talk, then they leave. I've already had my 2 secretaries gone for 14 days. I did all my work and a lot of theirs. Karen took her computer home, did all she could. I wasn't gonna take any more of my help getting sick, because we already got scheduling problems with lack of help and this and that. And I thought we just need to shut down for a while. That's my decision. If you guys got something different,
No, I just wondered about the
Yeah.
plexiglass, and
No.
if there would be another safety.
I just think that there'd be too many people in there at close proximity, because then we'd have to put it up between tables, and our tables are just too close at Sugar Valley for sure. Here, we might be able to spread them out, but I know, Rod Sipes already talked to me. I think he's gonna come in tonight. He's the only one that mentioned anything about coming in. He likes the idea of staying shut down like we are for a little while longer. Because he's just worried about people getting too close.
we're talking like curbside pickup or anything like that.
Yes, it's curbside. Yeah, carry out only. We've been doing carry out only, just like when we were shut down about 3 months earlier this summer. We are still carry out only. Yes.
Do you think that it would be cost effective and out of the free drivers?
But I agree with, I think you're wrong. It couldn't hurt.
I mean, I mean, it's,
Steve would have told me that.
you know, without even, just assuming that that's all, that's 100% true, is the increase in rates of insurance, would we make that up with the increase in sales that we're losing out on?
You just have to call the insurance guy and see how the commercial auto policy is issued.
Right.
And let them know that, because every driver on the policy has to be listed, right? So if we add an 18-year-old that works for us, if they got a speeding ticket, that can jack up the whole commercial auto policy. So it's not impossible, but it could increase it. And I don't know if it's gonna increase $100, $400, $800.
As slow as it's been, I know we have a lot of people that live on both association grounds, but I don't believe we're gonna make up the difference in our price to have someone, because they're basically gonna have to be there all the time.
You can have a
You can't
volunteer.
just have them on call, and I don't think it would ever pan out.
You could have a volunteer do it. Somebody that says wants to work for tips or something like that, and says, I'll come do it a couple hours, a couple nights a week.
That would work, but I'm already having trouble with volunteers.
Yeah.
It was all set.
I'm already having trouble with volunteers, so.
Well, if you could, and again, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but just spitball, when you have like your steak and shrimp night, for example, if you have these special dinners, that could be a time, this is when we'll have delivery between the hours of 6 and 9, something like that. That way you don't have to have them on call all the time, and we can still make those sales and make, I don't know if it's a good idea or not, I don't know if it's feasible or not, but just to throw it out there. You can structure it where you don't have to have someone sitting around for it.
Right. Cause see, right now, we're on winter hours. I mean, it's, 5 o'clock over there, it's 5 o'clock through the week, 7 o'clock on the weekend. Over here, we cut it down on the weekend an hour. I mean, and the bad thing of that is a lot of people, 5 o'clock, they're just getting home from work yet.
Well,
through
again,
the
well,
week.
I'm suggesting, again, maybe twice a month, you have, you have a special dinner, like a steak and better, whatever.
Like announce
Yeah.
it, like pre-order almost.
Yeah, like a taco night.
Yeah,
You can put it on Facebook and say, on this night, we'll take orders till 9. So yeah, the clubhouse goes at 5, but again, if it's worth it, it will make the sales, it makes sense to do
Right.
that. To have it.
Try it out. Worst case scenario, it fails and you don't do it again, right? I mean,
And it's up
Right.
to Steve, I'm just
Yeah.
throwing an idea, but.
If you have the manpower to do it.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. The pool, they came and worked on it this week and put in some of the electrical and the plumbing work and stuff and some more dirt work. It's still on schedule to open up by, Memorial Weekend. The kitchen, I'm waiting I talked to the guys that's supposed to be doing the walls and stuff over there. This next week to what material they need and give me a definite time of when they can come, at least get that outside wall in. I'm still waiting on the man that helped put this hood up. Because we need him, we've got his lift and he's got the bracing and everything it takes, because that thing, it weighs a lot. And to get it down and out there and get it over to Sugar Valley. So all that's still in the progress, but it's waiting on volunteer help. We did get another $500 donation this week from an individual towards the pool. The only other thing is I don't know if I need to bring it up here or in new business, old business. I had a man from A1 Towing out of Fort Scott, Robert Kuhn, called me this week, and he said that he's a towing service, and he said he can do everything legally, and he would come to a board meeting to talk to you guys about how he would do this. I thought he said he had lunch with you, Burton.
Yeah, I've worked with him in the past, I know Robert.
Okay, but he said something about, that's his job. He can do stuff like that as far as getting the old campers out, the old boats out, and he can run the bins on them, everything done legally. And after a certain amount of time and all the publications and all that kind of stuff, then basically they turn over to where they're his, if I understood him right.
So,
And then he would have to make up his cost. He didn't talk like he'd charge us anything.
yeah, so let me explain a little. So I reached out to him after that meeting just to kind of get a feel from him about what that process would look like and whether or not that's something that would be available to the association. And he basically said the same thing, that this is his business, he runs a wrecking business, and so what he would do is he would remove any vehicles we want, boats, RVs, campers, whatever, he'd take them all himself, and he would go through all the work, he'd pay the filing fees, he would, like research events, he'd go through the motions to do what it took to get good title of those vehicles, and then by virtue of getting good titles, that's his payment. Then he can scrap them, he can sell them, he can do whatever he wants. So zero cost to the association. Zero liability. Zero liability. He takes care of it and does everything. The only liability I think we'd have is just to make sure, and I don't know how we do this exactly, but to make sure that we haven't hauled off somebody's vehicle that we know who it is, and we haven't given them notice. Now, again, Mr. Kuhn would give them the notice through statute, and I think that would clear it anyway, but just really more for courtesy than anything else. I know that a lot of those have little stickers on to say, SBL, HBL 47, and I talked to Karen, she said we really have no record of who those are or any way to look it up or anything, so I mean, if the answer is we just don't know, and it appears very much like that's the answer, then just giving Robert a call and having him call those off, I mean, I think that sounds like a win-win situation.
And we can announce that on Facebook and put it as the annual letter too, that if you own something in that area, you need to reach out to the office,
Or just not even necessarily but get it out of there, because we're going to come January 1, January 15, January 30, whatever, it's gone.
Do we know for a fact that none of those people pay to be in there?
Yes, nobody pays to be in there. That's free, gratis from the association, always has been.
Oh, you can park there right into that.
That is free storage.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that was the thing. I didn't go into enough detail with him because he said he could come to the meeting to talk to the board about what all he can do. And so I didn't go into enough detail with him at that time to know if he was just talking about the storage area or if he was talking about some of these trailers that have been on a lot for 20 years.
I think I don't want to speak for him, I'm sure his answer would be anything and everything. I mean, again, that's his business. He takes these old abandoned things, wrecks, whatever, he hauls them, and gets the pile to them, and sells them, scraps them, fixes them.
I like that.
How can he go in on private property like that?
Well, if it's private property, that's different, so,
I mean, like if I had an abandoned trailer on my lot.
well, so that's different. What I assume
Okay.
Steve was talking about is a lot of these come back to the association in some way. If it's on private property, then no, we can't just go on other.
That was what I was asking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Then I apologize. So we can't just go on private property and.
Right.
like that.
One of our own, I know
Sure.
he could.
Well, we can clean up all of our stuff that's got
Yes,
things on it.
Right.
So that's a good question. You're absolutely right about it.
yeah. So do I need to bring him into a meeting and have him explain it more?
I would love to hear
To
Sure.
see if he'll come to
If
January?
he's been doing this for 20 years or something and done this, I mean, I'm sure he knows all the legalities, because he's probably not trying to get his ass in hot water.
Correct. I loved it when I talked to him, but I will invite him to the January meeting and see if he'll come speak, tell you all, and get that set up.
What was his name?
Robert Kuhn.
Okay.
Other than that, the pool, the kitchen, we're still getting a lot of calls on lots. Like I said, I sold 11,000 this month. That's about all I got this month.
Okay, under old business, let's see, fines in process would be under old business.
So I submitted that updated, the fine process to you guys with the changes that we talked about 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago, to Karen, so I think that should be done at this point. I think the only thing that's left is just figuring out what your fine schedule is gonna be per code violation. So I submitted a second little spreadsheet that said, for loose dogs, $25, loose dogs, whatever. And I had a uniform, every single offense was, I think I said $50. So really maybe the final thing to do, if there's anything to do, is for you guys to decide what you want the fines to be. Last time I said there was those rules and regulations that had some additional codes in there that I didn't have access to last time, and we can go back and pull those out for the fines, or, for now, you can just do a blanket $50 for a code violation, and that's it. And we can revisit it later or what have you, but to the extent, if there are some that are bigger than others in your mind, and I don't know, just to make something up, a no weight violation or something, that's $50. But if you are dumping trash on the side of the road, that's $100. You guys can play with that however you want. You can set it whatever you want. Again, I just put $50 on each one just because I need to place somewhere. I have to stick something in there, so I can $50. But you guys tell me what you want to look like, what you want those fines to be, and that sort of thing.
Well, I'd start with the $50 deal. Sounds fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, not trying to get their attention, basically what we're trying to do.
So I guess what I would like from you tonight then is a motion to just set all fine for any violation of any code, $50.
Is that
For first time.
for the first time
yeah.
offense? And
So
then what are we
moved.
doing on the second offense?
I'll have to look at it, I think I said a double, but I'll look at it again, but anyways.
Okay, Dave made the motion.
Okay, so yeah, if you're willing to pass that motion tonight, then we've got, I think, everything in place. I mean, we're good to go. We can start having court tomorrow if we wanted to.
I second it.
Right. Do we have further discussion on the matter?
I guess me being one of the ones that is gonna enforce this, I do.
Okay.
It's me and the security guards and the architecture committee, the way I understood that, right?
Well, I think we said anyone designated by the board, and so,
That's who the board, okay?
That's who we designated.
so as we
So-
say tonight, that's it, but I mean, you could add,
What I need to know is how do you want me to go about? Do I send them an email? Do I send them a letter?
Well,
Are we gonna
okay.
get a pad
Is
and
it
run out?
gonna be a form?
So-
The board has to approve that first?
so, well, first of all, yes, we'll have a form. Second of all, the answer to your question, I think, is already in the procedures that you guys passed the other day. And once again, I should have brought my laptop, I don't have it in front of me, but I think it says you mail a letter, give them 10 days, secure it, or something like that. But that procedure is lined out. The answer to your question is in those procedures that you guys passed, that past meeting. But specifically, like you said, you will need, we'll have to develop a standard form that says, you know, has the pertinent information on there that you would affix to their door or mail to them or whatever.
Like a citation.
Okay.
Right?
And to me, that should be sent certified mail. That way you know good and well, they got it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're not gonna say they didn't
Right.
receive it.
And that starts 1/1, right?
That's whenever you guys want.
Let's do 1/1, and then we can give them this next 2-week window and just say, hey, any of this stuff, you know, outside of the trailers, because we've tabled that, starting 1/1 is gonna be findable
Can we put that in
On the
on the
website?
website?
Yep.
and then put it in the Facebook group. I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
Facebook's the best communication.
Yeah.
Is that one
We generally
year,
put both.
one annually, or is that one lifetime that they own a lot?
Are you talking like?
Per month, right?
I mean, I feel
Per
like
30 days, right?
Yeah, well, like, that's
Every-
the question.
Every
Yeah,
30
it's-
days.
that's like,
He was saying a warning, and I was asking, is that one warning annually?
Yeah.
I think we just, I
Or
think,
is that one?
I mean, that's really up to
warning
Steve and whoever's writing the citation, frankly, you know, if Steve wants to give a guy, you know, an extra warning, I mean, I think that's his prerogative to do so. I mean, that's what you've entrusted him to do by designating him the power to do that. So if you guys want to make that a hard policy, then you absolutely can. But I don't think it's hard coded anywhere, and it's just kind of whoever's writing those citations.
Okay.
Okay, so I got a motion on the floor to set all at $50 to begin with. Dave made a motion, got a second by Lance. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. Also, in old business, did everybody get an email from Deborah Beach?
No.
No.
Okay. She, no, you didn't. She sent an email about rules and regulations for camping. She's the gal that's on the architectural committee that was at the last board meeting.
Can you send that to us, and we'll take it up next meeting? I mean, unless you want to paraphrase it real quick,
It's pretty long.
that's what I thought.
What's she asking for, Janet?
It's what she wants to see for fines and things.
She sent a proposal for the camp.
Campers. So I will send that to all board members. Okay.
And should we be able to respond maybe at the next board meeting?
Yeah.
What you wanna do?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Is there any other old business? Okay, do we have
Just
any?
my sign.
Oh, that would be under old business, okay, your sign. You want
A
to
dumpster sign.
Your dumpster sign.
Vote on the middle one.
Do I need to make a motion for
I
that?
think we've already.
I think
we've
we
already
approved it.
have them.
We already approved it.
You just do which one you want.
It's just a matter of
Yeah.
you doing
But
it, us paying.
you just came up with the sign that you're gonna put. Right, we've.
Yeah, so the sign's gonna say no digging in the trash or subject to prosecution.
Okay,
And we'll get it on how many signs do you need over there?
Oh, I
You
got
just
you a
have
camera.
one
You said,
compactor.
I got you a camera too. It's over here.
oh, okay.
We just have the one compactor.
That's the only dumpster you have?
So probably two,
We have two here.
Two
two
areas
here, one, and one down at the bottom. You want?
Well,
one?
we're gonna stick it on the maintenance building.
Okay, just one up here then?
Yeah.
And one down there?
Stick one down at the bottom and then one for
So
you.
3 sides.
I'd put one for each side on the compactor, yeah.
it's got, thin flow around it. You think you,
I mean, is there a place to go see it?
like, when they have to drive into it?
Yeah.
So how many you need
Understand
over
they can read. Did
I
not
think
say
it's the
that.
one. We'll put it right at the entrance on the
Okay,
fence.
so 3 signs. I'll get a price on those.
Make them big enough they can see them.
How big you want them, dude?
I think obnoxiously big to make your point, man. Make them 4x4, 5x5.
At least 3x3, yeah,
Let's do 4x4.
sounds good.
I can get quotes. I got so you can make sense.
Any other?
Oh,
old
cool. I can quote.
They'll probably recycle it,
business?
just a thought.
Yeah. Is anybody needing to go to executive session for any reason?
Not all.
No.
New business. Do we, I just gonna throw this out there, is there anything to get feedback on how this meeting goes with our general manager?
Is there a way to get feedback?
Are we looking at getting feedback?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't think we critique everything, but I think just that, hey, this could have been improved, like, we couldn't hear you. Like, if they say that,
Yeah.
then let's fix that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're rolling with the punches here and kind of adapting, so I don't think we have to take too much.
Have you got anybody wanting to respond?
Vicky said, sounded good, pictures a bit fuzzy, but that could be the internet connection. We can't hear you.
Okay.
It's the only one.
Do we need to do anything about people without internet service?
Probably be a question of your own.
I don't think we necessarily need to. You know, if somebody doesn't have internet service, they can, well, they can go to the library or whatever. But, I mean, there may be some other options, but, you know, I think that broadcasting this online, I would argue, meets the definition of an open and public meeting. If someone, you know, if someone doesn't have internet, that's really not much different than not having a car and they can't drive down here. We don't have to, you know, go to their house to do it. So I don't, you know, there's nothing wrong with making some provisions for that, but I think that we met our burden by putting this together and broadcasting.
The only other thing I had here was, when's the newsletter going out? How are we gonna handle ballots for the annual meeting, that kind of thing?
That was something that we needed to talk about, how the annual meeting would be covered. If it's gonna be virtual, we only got the other meeting 2 days before the annual. I mean, we can have it to where it's all totally virtual, because we talked about it in the office. The only thing is, if we have it virtual only, if I'm right with the bylaws, the ballots have to be out at least a minimum of 14 days before the annual meeting to the people. And they're gonna be out by the end of December to the 1st of January is when the newsletter will be out.
I thought it was 30 days on the annual meeting, was it not?
We have a book here, I can look at it.
I don't
Didn't
know.
bring,
Let me take a quick look.
I'm just sure it's 14,
Because
but,
I was thinking the annual meeting was longer, but I may be wrong.
but we talked about putting a ballot box like outside because they are supposed to be in. We would have to say, like any mail-in ballots would probably have to be in the day before the annual board meeting, in the mail to us.
They have
To be
in
counted.
anyway, don't
Uh,
they? They have to be anyway, don't they?
Well, they have to be, I know the ones that are in our bylaws, the people at the meeting, they start counting them at the meeting. They have to be in the box by the time the meeting starts, or they don't count.
Yeah, normally, I think what we do is we get started,
Mhm.
and then we let all the
Not in there.
Board meeting minutes.
Candidates,
candidates come up and speak,
Thought I had the
and then
bylaws.
we give them a few minutes to place the remaining ballots, and then they come and get them and take them away. If I recall
be.
right,
That could
something
be.
like that.
I was just reading through the book, what it said.
I was trying to think how we did it last year. I think.
I think, no, yeah, you vote, I think
Probably
you
right.
thought like an intermission, I think you like after the candidates speak, then you can vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, wasn't that it, that they come up and spoke, and then we gave them 5 minutes or whatever to go ahead and cast the oath. Okay, well, I guess we can go on any other new business that needs to be brought. I guess we're ready really for committee reports. Are we gonna?
I'd have to look outside because I didn't have anybody except Rod Sipe that talked like, that's why I put, open forum before committee reports. Cause he kind of does his committee reports, and he said something about, basically, I'll let him talk, but I think he was wanting to say he likes the idea of staying closed longer.
Okay.
But let me see if he's outside.
Okay, thank you, Steve.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna-
Oh, that's what he did.
I have to report.
No, this is the actual audit report
And then
from Mike.
get some issues
Uh,
with
yeah.
just some things.
Well, yeah.
Myself, and of course, we had a new baby a year ago, and we had a two-bedroom.
Will you read it?
Kids waking her up.
Oh.
Well, master bedroom.
Yeah.
3-bedroom total. So anyways, she's like, I need a bigger place. I need a extra bedroom up there.
Mike,
Then next
you
bedroom,
read this, I read
and
it.
I can't see anything. Well, it's just, see if there's any options. So we looked at this, yeah, but I don't know. It's one of those, I'm not real motivated, you know, like, I'm happy with him, but.
Well,
That's the best luck.
he's fine.
But that,
Start getting me fine.
yeah, I hope so, too. Like, tell them, my neighbor, I don't know if he's actually, by the way, he's trash.
I'm a little concerned on the guy with the tow truck.
You gotta stay around like.
It's probably
Oh, yeah, we just-
on Steve's vehicle.
There's a lot of.
Good.
No, really not.
Would you build or something? or-
We're talking about it at some point. I still have, I have another lake.
I think it is. See, you can read this.
Water foot lake water.
You can read it.
They're gold right now.
I know.
Did that one house sell that was on the market 3 weeks ago? Kinda,
I didn't know
it was listed at 269, and they had 2 showings, day one. She said she planned on selling it. I know somebody talked to her on Sunday and they said it'll be sold by tonight, but I haven't heard it.
I think they did, but I didn't
Come on up here, we got a microphone. That maybe they can hear you.
You gotta behave when you're here.
Okay,
Yeah, don't be.
stand right here.
You can either hold it or
I'll
whatever.
hold it.
Yeah.
Are we live or is this
We're
memory?
live. You're good.
We're live.
Okay. Let's see, this is the open.
We're in open forum with,
Okay.
committee reports afterward.
All right, open forum. Things on my mind is, I hope that, a suggestion or a thought of mine would be that possibly the meetings that are scheduled for here, board meetings scheduled for here, be moved to Hidden Valley. Sugar Valley, pardon me, Sugar Valley in the future with no end in sight at the discretion of our manager and board. And,
Why?
why? Because I'm sitting out there waiting for him to come get me. I have no phone service. I have no way to watch this live. I don't know what's been discussed. And I think if anybody cares enough from over here, I'm from over here. I can drive 15 minutes over there. I get service over there in the parking lot and my devices will work over there. If in the future our tech guy set up a projector and could show it on the wall over there. Simple. That'd just be my reason. Yeah. And,
You want to do this permanently, or you just want to do it while we got the COVID thing?
just while we
going
have the COVID going on,
on? Okay.
yeah. And, let's see, what else was I thinking? I think that we shouldn't be in a rush, just an opinion, shouldn't be in a rush to reopen the clubhouses for, it's winter time, a little bit of business that's happening right now, and I think people are used to shut down. I know it's inconvenience. We can all complain about everything, but, until things are good and until you can really open the doors, or if it's springtime and the weather's good and the demand's there, I hope you discuss that. Give that some consideration. I think that's about all of my suggestions. And I'd like to also say, and I might post on Facebook, I'd like to also say that I know I try to email Steve anytime I have a question or a comment, because he's a busy man and I don't want him on the phone. I want it at his convenience to respond to me. And whoever's out there watching this, if there's anybody at all, one person hears that and does the same thing, I think that helps Steve.
Thank you.
He's a busy man. He's a busy man, and he does a good job, as busy as he is, and don't want to overburden him. Committee reports. I know Steve had requested a calendar from the rec committee over here at Hidden Valley. With COVID going on, and we have our sign out here, out at the gates and out here, that I asked Steve to just put in the newsletter that ours will be posted on Facebook. So check your Facebook for anything, updates and whatever. We'll try to get the word out that way. And the architectural committee, no big news there. Surprisingly, there's still a couple of things going on. People are doing some stuff. We've had some decent weather, so we've approved. Probably in the future, some of our restrictions and regulations, which I know we plan on tweaking those a little bit, because there was one that was kind of reluctantly given permission for, that was really couldn't deny it, but what else can you do with the way it's written? Follow the, it was within all the guidelines and the requirements. So we did that. That's all I know.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Well, thank you, Rod.
Thank you,
Good
Rob.
to see this board here.
Thank you.
God, I bet this is the best I've ever looked on camera. See y'all.
Thank you, Ron.
Okay. I've got an audit report. The audit committee sent me the report to read. The audit committee met on December 10th. The committee reviewed the documents and records for Sugar Valley and Hidden Valley Association listed below for the months of July through September 2020. The delay from the normal quarterly review was due to COVID-19. Bank statements for the operating account from farmers and merchants, transaction detail for the 11 months, profit and loss statement for January through September 2020, balance sheets for the above months, profit and loss statement. All checks, deposits, and miscellaneous items were reconciled between the bank statements and the transaction detail. All checks were double. All voids were matched to the bank statement. All outstanding invoices were matched to the vendor balance detail. A more detailed budget was provided and reviewed to the profit and loss from September 2020 year to date. No discrepancies were found on the above documents except for the checks that were not double signed. And I've got to say that those 3 checks, they were under $30 a piece, so it's not like they were a huge amount. Respectfully submitted, Michael Iverson, Chair. Okay, do I have any other committee reports?
Well, I've got a couple things to
Okay,
first of all, just an update on a couple, Steve had brought to me a couple pieces of property to work on. One of them, I guess, was a piece of property that had been deeded over to the homeowner association ostensibly at some point, but the deed was recorded wrong to the association as it existed at the time, that had been dissolved by then, so we're working on doing a quiet title action. I've got that petition drawn up to get filed, and there's another one, I can't remember the details of that, but basically we're moving forward on that. We've got a couple that we're bringing back in soon. I was approached by the county councilor of Bourbon County about an issue that they have, and I guess we may have too, in Hidden Valley Lake. And that is, Bourbon County is in the process right now of doing their tax sale for all their properties in the county that are delinquent on taxes that they want to go ahead and file to foreclose on their lien and get those properties. The issue that the county council of Bourbon County has is that there's a great deal of them here in Hidden Valley, and I don't know what the number was, a couple hundred, maybe something like that. And his concern is that these lots they're small enough and they're not appraised high enough that the yearly taxes on these lots are about $5 a lot. And the county is going to have to spend $200 to $300 to go through this process and get title and all that. And so they're looking at, if they do this, then they're going to get this property back, but it'll take them 20 years of taxes just to get back what they spent today. God forbid that the next person could be delinquent, they just get further and further behind. So the county council approached me and asked me if you guys, the board, would be willing to enter into some sort of agreement with Bourbon County, wherein, and I'm struggling a little bit to remember the details of what this would look like, but what he wants to do is basically, one of the problems is they can get title to these properties. It's getting marketable title is the issue. They have to do a title search, for example, to make sure there's no liens or any other claimants on the property and all that. Without that title search, then the property is you can't sell it. It's worthless without that title search. So the Bourbon County does not want to invest the money to do a title search on these, I'll call it 200 lots. So what he has proposed to me is asking if you guys, the board, would be willing to buy those properties, buy the bulk of properties. Again, I'm making up this fictitious number. It's 200 properties at, bid on that real low, get it real cheap. And of course, we're going to have the same problem that he would have. But what we would do is we could then file our own quiet title action, just like the one I just said, and list every one of those 200 properties, do it in one action. So, I mean, it'll be a little bit of investment, it'll be some time, but it'll be far, far, far cheaper than doing 200 individual title searches and all that. We bought it in bulk and have them in one deal. We can do a quiet title action for them in the same way. And again, it'll be, and I don't know what we're talking about just yet in terms of dollars, but essentially the board would get back all these delinquent, properties and lots that no one's, for really a lot cheaper than we'd ever get them otherwise, and then we can.
So how do we guarantee that we're gonna get them at a cheap price and not somebody else down the street? Because that seems to be part of the problem we've had.
So there's really, I mean, I guess there's not a guarantee, but the thing is, if they are auctioned off, you know, in bulk, and with the caveat that there's not been a title search on these, there's not marketable title, chances are no one else is gonna bid on those. If someone else does, then I guess great, then they've sold, and then we've got someone on the hook to pay those assessments.
$200 or 200,
Yeah.
lots of $180.
And then we didn't have to file that quiet title action. But presumably, no one else is gonna bid on those, no one else is gonna be interested except for us. And then again, we can file that quiet title action and clear up that title, get marketable title on all of those, and then
It sounds like we're in a position of leverage though,
I
right? If they don't wanna do that,
they
they should
don't
almost,
wanna do it.
they
That's
should
right.
almost pay us to take those back. Like,
Yeah.
think about it, like if they
Well,
went,
the problem is, they don't own them yet, it's not theirs to do it.
but they will at the tax sale. They don't sell, then
If
they
they don't
acquire.
sell. What's that?
So how are we gonna save money doing title search versus them doing
Because
title
we're not
search?
doing a title search.
Pardon me?
Because we're not doing a title
We
search.
will have to in order to be able to sell them as marketable title.
So to get marketable title, we'll do a quiet title action, which is basically petition the court to say, we want you to give us title. We want you to clear out anybody else who's on here. And so the court will then require us to publish in the paper, to send a letter to anybody that we know.
Right.
And if anyone wants to make a claim for one of those lots, then they can file their answer and say, I think I have a claim to it. And then we, or you as a board, can then determine whether or not that's something we're willing to fight over, or whether, you know, we say, BS, that you have no claim to this, but whatever, but we will clear up that title by doing a quiet title action instead of an individual title search on 200 pieces of property. Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
So who's gonna do the quiet title action?
So that would be us.
So is the court pretty likely to sign off on that? Like based off what you?
As long as no one files an answer or response, then absolutely they will. There'll be a default. Again, the only issue we'd have is if someone came up and said, you know, that lot number 197, you know, that was my mom's, and of course, you know.
But then we have the person who owes the money.
Right, exactly. So it seems like a good deal. Now, again, it's gonna be some costs up front to buy them from the county. I don't know what that's gonna be. Some costs into the quiet title action. I can ballpark that maybe a little bit. You know, just to file, it'll be $200 or so. You know, and realistically, you know, we've got a contract now. So, you know, if I start exceeding, you know, this 5 or 6 hours a month, or whatever, then it might be a little bit on top of that. But it's not gonna be real expensive for you guys to get that cleared up, and then Steve can work his magic and start.
You're talking per lot though, right, on the quieting? of-
No, I'm talking.
That would be the
lot.
whole
The
deal.
whole deal. That's
Do it
it.
all in one deal.
Is there any downside that I'm not seeing?
The downside is that if Steve doesn't sell it, then we're just sitting on 200 lots, I guess.
But we're already sitting.
Yeah, I mean, the
Right.
downside is you're gonna have to pay for the lots, and you know, you're gonna have to bid on them at the auction. And,
Is there a minimum bid?
so that's something I'm gonna have to work with the county council about. Now, again, he approached out to me, he said, will you do this? He wants this to happen. He's not gonna put up roadblocks to make this any harder on you guys than it needs to be. You know, he has to follow the statutes, and he's gotta do what he has to do. But I imagine, you know, we're not talking about, you know, spending thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't know what we're talking about, but, you know, don't hold me to this, but it would shock me if I'll start the auction at $1 a lot or something.
So once we own the lots, say we did this, we get quiet title to them, we purchase them from Bergen County, then we have to start paying taxes on them?
That's right.
Yes.
But it's $5 a lot. So if you take over 200 lots, you're at
Well, some
$1,000.
of them are, I mean, some of them's gonna be more than that.
It'll be about, I mean, that's not far off. It'll be about $5 on average lot. You're right. Some of them will be a little bit more, but you're not.
Right.
But he can
Cause
sell.
I looked at the stack that you brought me last year with him, and I've looked every property over, and I don't know that I found one that's over a $500 lot that I could sell.
So there you go.
So if somebody,
I've researched every one of them, trying to figure out, is this worth I was gonna offer them on any nicer lot. I was gonna offer them something before it ever went to a tax sale.
Well, don't
Just
say
to
that
try.
out loud right now.
I know, but I'm saying that the lots that I saw, I mean, they're
So you got the best idea of anybody here what those are. If you think this is a bad idea and you can't resell them, it's not gonna bring the money back, then that's the answer.
well, I'm not saying for, if we have another year like we had this year, I can sell a fourth or a half of them lots probably for that $500 price
Or
tag.
couldn't we even get creative with that and say, okay, we're gonna give you this lot, but you pay 3 years dues up front or something like that, where it's.
I bet you, I'm gonna say that I think that we can do this from beginning to end, including buying them at auction, paying the final fees, all the courthouse, everything, beginning to end. I bet you under $2,000 or under 2,500, we can get all those lots in the four profit.
And if somebody comes in there and say they bid on it, they take ownership, essentially, we just cashed a $40,000 check, right?
That's the problem.
Well, yeah, but it becomes theirs and they gotta pay.
So that'd be a $40,000 check, essentially, $178
And
on
their
two
fans.
lots. $35,000.
$6,000 worth of taxes every year.
Yeah. So if you sell two of them a year, you're breaking even, essentially. They're
Yeah.
paying their dues.
Yeah.
I think it's a no-brainer, I mean.
And so I gotta go talk to him and see how he, you know, get more details from him on how he envisions doing this. And we don't need any action, I mean, nothing needs to be done tonight, and, you know, we don't have to do anything until the tax sale, so, I'm just bringing it to your attention and letting you know.
When is that tax sale?
So is he talking about doing that for every lot that they're collecting on down here, or just?
Every lot in Hidden
Certain
Valley.
ones?
No, every lot in Hidden Valley,
Okay.
and I don't know when it is right now, I'll get that to you, Lauren. Sorry.
That's okay.
We leverage that.
Well, I mean, really, just,
Well, Sugar Valley is living
Wide,
now.
So you
it'll
have
be
to
all
buy
one
it
group.
up.
Have to go buy from him.
But again, so, you know, Bourbon County is looking at taking a huge hit, because they're gonna pay through the nose to sell these one at a time, one by one, it's not gonna happen.
How do we leverage that?
I mean, that is the leverage, that they're gonna take it in the pants if they have to, if we don't do this for them, so.
Would they give us the tax?
That's what I'm
They
sitting
were
there
interested.
thinking, would they give us a tax abatement for 3 to 5 years or something to help?
If you guys want to direct me to take something back to him and, you know, counter with, and that's fine, I'm happy to do it.
A couple year tax abatement, I think, would make it sweet spot.
So it depends if, you know,
The
what
the only problem with the
charge
company
is.
tax abatement though
You
is,
know, if it's $1 a lot, it's a lot different than being $50 a lot.
Taxes?
No, I'm talking
Purchase.
minimum
purchase.
purchase price.
Oh, yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
so, I mean, I guess true is, as far as purchase price, I guess is. Again,
I'm gonna have
at
to pay
$5
that
a year, if they're delinquent, if there's 10 years delinquency in taxes, then again, it'll be a $50 bid for that one. It's probably more likely 2 or 3 years, or something like that, so $15.
I see. So you have to take that what's out on it.
That's probably where they're gonna start with bidding, I guess. Now, but again, this may be a different situation, you know, they may be willing to do something to start a bit lower, you know, I've gotta talk to him about what he's found. to do.
Can you find out what's owed on all of those lots?
Even like a ballpark.
So, yeah, probably, I'm sure. we can find that out.
So we know what the number is.
Is that information they gave, you have that information
Yeah.
on it? Do you remember?
It's been too long since I've looked at
Yeah,
it.
I think we can find that
Throw
out.
the idea of the tax abatement, see what he thinks.
That's what I'd say. I mean,
I mean,
the
we're
main
actually
thing-
saving money by doing that.
Main thing you need to tell them right now, yes, we're interested, but what are you offering?
Yeah.
And put it back. on
Like, we're not
their-
trying to take it.
can we
short
get him
of
in a
nothing.
meeting?
Yeah, they come.
I think we should get him at the next meeting too.
I'll invite him to the
We
next
should have
meeting.
him come to the next meeting.
That'd be great.
I'll invite him to the next meeting. Steve already talked about the abandoned vehicles. I think that's it. Thought I had one other thing to say, but maybe all. I guess that's it for tonight.
Okay?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Do you need to do anything with what Rod said about an open forum?
The meeting's adjourned,
about
sir.
moving the meetings all over to there. You guys need,
We wouldn't have to do it at this meeting, we could do it at
Next
next.
meeting.
Sugar Valley's already next one. it'll be in
Because
February.
then you kind of have a better idea if it's still.
If it's gonna
We're
work.
not able to entertain that.
I just didn't want to.
Okay, so,
Next meeting and annual meeting, both over there, so they'll.
Yeah.
So February.
So do I need to put that in old business,
Yeah.
next
meeting.
meeting?
Yeah.
okay, so, motion, Corey, you seconded?
Second.
To adjourn? Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried and we're adjourned.